those little thing, yo. It didn't work.
All right, I call to order the Rome Town Center Subcommittee meeting Wednesday, January 7th, 2026 at 4 p.m. We will roll forward with roll call. Tiffany Sivecki, Chairwoman.
Mike Donegan.
Giardino here.
Capel here.
Gabriel here.
And right here.
Not in attendance is Heather Dalton. All right, I will certify the posting of the meeting. I certify that on Friday, January 2nd, 2026, the agenda for the Town of Rome RTC Subcommittee meeting for Wednesday, January 7th of 2026 was posted at the Rome Town Hall at 3:55 p.m., Quick Trip LLC at 4:25 p.m., Nakusa Port Edwards State Bank at 4:20 p.m., and emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 1:50 p.m. on Saturday. Okay. Did everybody get to see the agenda? We don't have the agenda attached for November's meeting. We did not have one in December.
You mean the minutes?
There's nothing on here for that.
I mean, I've got the minutes if you want a copy of it.
We'll have to move that to the next one to approve the previous agenda.
Yes.
Okay, we'll add that to the next.
What?
The minutes or the agenda?
It's not on the agenda, is it? That's why we can't do anything with it.
Yeah,
It would be
Okay.
the minutes from the last
the
meeting.
minutes from the last meeting.
Wasn't the,
The agenda.
Right.
The
She didn't get
agenda
that yet.
said minutes to begin with, and that's maybe where you're getting mixed up, Pino. We didn't get a set of minutes.
Yeah.
the
So
ones I got, yeah, the minutes I got, it's actually was dated January 7th.
That's not the minutes. That's the agenda.
But here,
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I understand that.
yeah, it just has the wrong wording on it.
Okay.
We'll add it
You
to the
didn't get
next
any
one.
minutes.
We'll
no,
get the November minutes and approve those on the next meeting.
gotcha.
Okay, move to citizen comments. Did
you-
we receive any?
Don't you need a motion to approve this agenda, though?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second it.
I'm skipping ahead. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? We approve the agenda. We will move on to the citizen comments. Did we receive any? None were received, so we will skip over to item 5. We will move over to discussion and possible action on the following items. Number 6, discussion and possible action, the Robert Gainier proposal. And we can have you come up to the podium. Do we have the mic on for him?
I can probably talk well enough. I don't know if you want this on? Sure.
We just need you to say your name and address and then what you're going to propose for us.
I don't know if this really works.
What is this?
Maybe I got
This
it.
isn't gonna
There we
have to
go.
do with us.
There we go. Robert Gainier. My address is 1353A as an Apple Rain Dance Trail in town of Rome. I'm kind of here looking for some guidance and how to propose going forward. I want to look at some land that you guys got available in the Rome Center here. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. For putting in a hardware store in like a building supply center. So I kind of have some ideas on the size of the building, and what I'm probably looking for is probably 4 acres. Somewhere, I kind of looked at it, I think it's Timberline Road, along Timberline there, if there's something available in that area right off of coming off of 13 there where the town home sign is.
So Timberline?
Right.
Somewhere over by Trade Show Logistics Street. Up. This is Timberline, that's Trade Show Logistics. That's that big building,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
think, where's Patrick's land?
This is a new road you just.
This is a
went
new
in.
one, this is
Right here,
Timberline, yeah.
yes.
So, somewhere in here probably, is this all available to you? So,
Okay.
I'm not sure either side matters, but this is down, okay, that's to,
Let's go directly to CD.
somewhere.
Let's go to CD.
It's right here. This is Timberline.
Tell us about your thoughts. Interior only, some outdoor.
It
Lumber
would be a
sales?
lot of building
Up
contractor
north.
supply and then general
See,
hardware
here's Bison.
for, you know, the community.
We couldn't see where he's pointing. Could you tell us, please?
I would say Trade Show Logistics,
Yeah.
the new section of Timberline, sort of these two. Can you see, Bill?
Yeah,
Or
now I can see.
just down a little bit, somewhere on the new
So
street that was
just
put.
past, okay.
Yeah,
So what, is it by the trade show on the north or south side?
he said he didn't really care, so somewhere past.
I want to get out there and look at that, but I'm just, I would prefer it to have not going deep, but going longer. I don't know if that's possible. In other words, what I'm saying is.
Yeah.
the
You want road frontage, road frontage.
Much more
Would
the
be,
hardware store.
you know.
Yeah.
Somewhere in this area
adequate
right here.
for
Yeah,
Where's
vision
Timberline? Right
and
here.
getting it.
I think this would be the best one for him. And he might even be able to talk trade
Maybe one.
logistics.
And this street is not in yet.
Correct. We're
So-
into-
This is the only.
Yeah, it goes all the way
This
through to
goes all the
13th
way.
Avenue,
This street
that's it.
goes all the way through.
Right,
This street is not put in yet.
yes.
Okay. And then can you detail what, so it sounds like you're looking for building supply, lumber supply, and hardware store. So can you detail a little bit what, I guess I envision 4 acres, and I don't know that that would necessarily take up 4 acres,
They
so.
said 8 acres.
No, 4.
No, four.
Okay, my bad.
Yep, no, 4. The idea was to put building and office up first, so probably about 50 by 100, 120, plus an office, probably 50 by 40. Somewhere in that length of that building. It would go in probably on one side or the other, I'm guessing, but, and then I would like to have like a fenced-in outdoor lumber area that does, things that just don't need to be inside and covered and such. So that would take up some room. And I'm assuming you guys would be okay with trucks coming in. There's gonna be semi-trucks with lumber and things coming in, that's.
Are these roads gonna be able to sustain these trucks coming through?
Well,
Timberline should.
that is a good question, something that I would like to verify. Would think so, but we would need to verify if there would be any winter restrictions on those roads, such as,
Because you're talking what, if there's semis, you're talking what, 40, 50,000 pounds?
Permar gets them now.
What's that?
Permar gets semi-deliveries.
They all, semis come to basically all the businesses.
Right.
Oh,
I
they-
mean,
okay,
Slice
so
of
they-
Heaven, Rome Meat Market, there's
Oh, the ro-
semis.
okay, I
There's
didn't,
semis in the business park,
okay.
basically on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all summer long.
Constant traffic that would cause you a problem, not the delivery.
Right, it's not like highway traffic necessarily, it's just delivery in and out kind of thing, so I don't think.
Okay, just wanna make sure we're good.
No, I
We're
get
up
you,
the
that,
street.
for sure. And the 4 acres is also, to start out, I don't want to get too crazy, you know, overbuild, but I do want room for expansion in the future. So that's part of it too.
so part of my, I think this is an amazing idea. I would have some issues with the location, because this is an area that we are trying to create more walkable, a little bit more community centered, and having semi trucks in there, I think, would pose an issue. So if we were going to have something like this, I feel like it would maybe be a little bit more appropriate, maybe off an area such as Anawa, and down that way where there's already semi trucks coming in, versus Timberline where we, because I believe when they're going to Permar, they come in off of Anawa and go down Geneva. Versus coming in down Timberline, which is our main access area.
Didn't we just say that there are
That's
semis that
Anawa
go through
here.
there weekly
This is Geneva.
Yeah.
For they
for
come
delivery?
down.
This is where that,
So are they coming in like?
They
you
come.
know, she's saying they're
They
coming
come
in
for-
here. They come
Rome
from
Meats,
all
they
Yeah.
go to Multi-Cran.
They go to the bakery.
Yeah, I think that's
To
already
deliver supplies.
established, so I don't know if that would affect
Okay.
location.
Yeah.
Sure, it would be like massive
Are they?
traffic for.
I guess I'm curious if they're actually coming in off of that main access off of 13 and Timberline, or if they're coming behind from Alpine or
Does Timberline come out
Anawa.
of 13?
For the semis,
Timberline
They come
comes off
every-
of
Oh, yeah,
13.
it's the main drag.
they also come in off of Alpine too.
Yeah, and I think if you can just say, hey, can you come off of Alpine, and they will.
yeah.
I'm seeing different squares here, and I do not know what the size of them are, or if we can subdivide.
Everything is, you can subdivide, just kind of disregard the squares because it indicates what zoning is currently, and the purpose of this committee is to look at the zoning and change it.
Yep.
So,
I would suggest maybe Alpine and 13th Ave in that area, or just the land just behind everybody here on Alpine.
Here?
Just
Right here?
west of all the buildings, yeah, this right here.
so access off of Alpine, you're looking?
Yeah, Alpine or, yeah, coming in on Anawa Court would be also feasible, in my opinion.
It's really, I mean, from a business perspective, Alpine is a very busy street. Everybody in the town will know your hardware store's there.
You almost
Probably
have
almost
more
gives you-
visibility there.
Yeah.
Probably would almost get more visibility here than you would, because this isn't a through street.
Yeah.
And I think just in keeping with our overall vision of where the town center moves forward, I feel like having it off of Alpine Drive, just as far as traffic goes and trucks and our visions, I feel overall that's probably better too. And it is a great location as far as visibility goes.
It's more expensive real estate though, because it's on Alpine. I mean, just so you know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. That's not this committee.
Maybe more flexibility with lot size too, since it's not in our town center.
Yeah, the other question I had regarding the project was, if you're gonna have a lumber yard, why would you need roadway visibility for that?
That's
Why
true.
couldn't
Well,
it
he's
go-
also a hardware store.
Deeper.
Why couldn't it
Instead
go,
of-
yeah, no, I understand the hardware store, but the lumber yard, and you're putting a fence around it, you're not gonna see it from the roadway anyway, why couldn't it go behind the storefront?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because
I mean,
you
I'm
said
not-
you didn't want to go
I'm not
deep,
gonna put ugly-
but I'm looking,
Yeah.
we don't want to give up a bunch of roadway space for a lumber yard.
No, I agree.
And
So
with
that-
Rome
when
Town
you-
Center, just the.
So you're asking for direction. I'm suggesting to you that as you develop the project, you have your storefront and your office space on the road frontage, but put the lumber yard behind it and go deep. Don't go long, because we won't approve it.
And there will be screening requirements and such too, so if it's already behind the buildings, that'll help with those conditions.
And my distance is terrible, so 4 acres. Is there a similar property that we've?
Yes.
Was the meat market 4 acres?
I don't know about that. I do know that my piece of property is 3.8
I was
something.
just gonna say yours is very close.
Mine's very close to
So
4.
it's, okay.
All right, I'm doing girl measuring here.
Where are we
I
putting
can
the,
understand that then. If
Where are we
with
gonna
a
put
lumberyard
the,
and et cetera, that sounds reasonable.
It seems to me, excuse me, but it seems to me that before we can even talk
senior
about
citizens
acreage,
living, 'cause they
size,
want to be where the trucks are.
we ought to have a better idea, and you should have a better idea
can I ask a question?
what
here?
you want. Pardon me, Vito, I'm speaking.
Where's the senior living? Oh,
Hold on.
He's asking, he's talking.
Can you start over?
Are you done?
Okay. No, I'm not done. I'm not started.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Before we can even begin to consider size of parcel necessary or shape of parcel, you need to have an idea laid out on paper of what you want. Size of building, frontage, traffic pattern on the site, because this is an important decision, because whatever we put into this park is going to affect the next use in the park.
That-
So
I just want to quick interject to just say that this was the point of him meeting today, was for us to give a little bit of direction
That's-
before he starts putting that
That's what he's
together.
asking for.
I'm giving direction then. Pardon me. Because really, in order for us, and Lord knows we need a hardware store. We do. We need some building supply. But for your sake and for our sake, we need more thought into this, sir.
There's quite a bit of thought. I just didn't, I'm trying to get.
He's checking the temperature of the water.
And then the next time we meet, I'll have a building for you to look at it.
I have,
Just,
okay,
I mean, you can even make it fictitious.
I have a question about that.
Yeah,
Why didn't he go to CDA
Just give me a
first?
fictitious,
We're number one.
fictitious lot that I
Since
can
when?
Yeah.
setbacks on and whatever, all the requirements, and then
Oh,
we can try to do
okay.
it that way. Is that, I mean, I'm asking you.
All right.
what do you
Yeah.
want?
Okay, well, we're going to be talking about form-based development at some point in this, as opposed to strict zoning. And
Can you explain that to me? I'm not sure what that means.
in other words, it's have a development plan, have a concept. We'll take a look at it. In the meantime, we'll think about setbacks, screening, all the other things that goes to make your particular use compatible with future uses and existing uses. You know, one member of the committee, I want to work with you, because we do need a hardware store. But we really need, in order to make an intelligent decision, we need to have a little more to go on.
Sure.
Because, 4 acres can be either 400 feet wide by 400 feet deep, or it could be 200 feet wide and 800 feet deep. Acre is 208 by 208.
Yeah, so
And that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna explain a little bit. With the development of this committee, we're bringing, well, subject A is like
the guinea
typically
pig,
people
Can we
would
leave it
go
at that too, for all the records? Something English.
in the past, potential business owners went to CDA, Plan Commission, Town Board.
Right.
We're putting, since we're looking over the zoning and ordinances and kind of the redevelopment of this plan, we're bringing him here to kind of see his vision and make sure it fits what our future and the vision we're working on, it all is cohesive.
Okay. Thank you.
I got a question for this gentleman. What's your background in this?
I worked in the concrete industry for several decades. It wasn't necessarily harbor, it was a lot of building supplies, those kinds of things. I've also driven truck for many years, and I own a little business here in town, Rome Land Services.
Okay.
And as I do my work, I'm seeing a need for it, and I've been out in the field talking to other people. And I'm not trying to give my idea away, but it is what it is. It's a significant investment, to even get something like this off the ground. It's pretty large chunk of dough. And I've kind of done some general studies of the area, and it's kind of needed here. So I mean, that's what you got to build. Right? You don't build
Oh, yeah.
a McDonald's next to a McDonald's, right? It'd be silly. So
There's nothing between Rapids
distances
and
between
I don't,
stores
so.
No.
are significant enough that whatever you want to call it, not a big box store probably couldn't survive here. Not necessarily would you even probably want it. You really want a Home Depot sitting there, just something reasonable enough size to handle the area, and there's a lot of housing going up. There's plenty of things happening that trajectory is going to continue.
Would you be a true hardware store, saying, affiliated with Ace or one of them?
No, I'm not. It's going to be independent at this particular moment. I don't think.
Do you remember the rental supply that used to be where the child care center is now?
Yeah. I looked at that, and it's.
Is that what you're looking at? I mean, what
Maybe
Reynolds
bigger than
had
that.
there?
It'd be more scale than that, but, you know, I don't really know. I wasn't here when he was running it, so I don't know what he even sold or whatever, but it would be a larger operation than that. So it's gonna.
Oh, personally, I welcome it. I hate running to Rapids or Adams to get hardware.
Where in relation
Probably. I mean,
is the seniors' home going to be here? The senior living?
They want to put it right in here.
Right by the church.
Okay, so
the
so
church and the
now,
apartment.
if it's going to be by the church, and you got a hardware store with trucks coming in, and a senior living center there,
So the senior living will be off of Geneva.
That's what we're,
This is like when that comes up. So we're planning for the senior living to be near the church. The hardware store will hopefully be off of Alpine,
which is by the church.
or it's all the way down on 13th Ave and Alpine Drive.
My personal opinion is we don't need no more residents in here. We've already had complaints from the owner and threatened lawsuits. This is not a residential area. This is a commercial development.
Threatening a lawsuit.
Can I say something?
Who's
What
threatening
owner?
lawsuits?
What owner are you
The
talking
owner of,
The apartments?
Yeah.
He can't take us. He's got nothing to say about it. He can't do a doggone thing about it. He's blowing smoke.
can I just interject once? I think that from us up here, none of us feel that this is a bad idea. That's my gut feeling.
Yeah.
But I think for us to really proceed, we don't expect you to go hire an architect and have 3D drawings all colored. But if you could lay something out on a sheet of paper like this size that shows us your building's gonna be 50 by 160, your parking lot's gonna be, you know, whatever. You're gonna need at least 50 feet wide, 30-foot lane, 20-foot parking space. You know, show us your, and then we can take that, show us how big of a yard you want in the back. Not,
How you're going to use the land.
yeah, and these, if you say your outdoor storage is gonna be 180 by 320,
well,
we can work with those numbers in the final stages if it only ends up being 250 instead of 320. And then just show us, like, on this side of the yard, we're gonna have shingles. On this side of the yard, because you're probably gonna want to build something with a roof to store lumber in, like Menards has. Just like this is gonna go on this side of the yard. On this side of the yard, we're just gonna have window wells and stuff like this that'll be sitting outside, ponds and things like that. And then this will be what sort of the front of the building would look like. I mean, because we're still gonna hit you with, you know, your roof pitch, your roof materials, you know, all the architectural standards still, but that at least gives us something, because that's where I sort of started. I own 2 businesses in there. You gotta come and show these people at this counter here, like, this is what I'm proposing, so we can sort of see something. But I think we're all in agreement that a hardware store is needed in this town. It's not a business we're saying we don't want. Then the second phase is, once we see what you got, where do you locate in here? And I think most of us are leaning towards somewhere in Alpine Drive.
Right.
I mean, your business will probably succeed better because every vehicle drives Alpine Drive, and it gets it away from whatever does happen future in here. I thought the retirement community that we keep talking about that's on the map for by the church, I thought that we were really talking about moving that towards sort of more towards the Timberline area in the end of all of this discussion and getting it off of Alpine Drive. And if that's really our final goal, then theoretically, everything from the church to 13th Ave is sort of where we would want businesses like this, because this traffic won't affect anything in the business park in the end.
That was part of our discussion for the location of that, was getting it a little bit closer to Timberline for the walkability being
With the senior part.
housing.
And I like the hardware store in Alpine. I have no issue with Anawa either, but I just think for visibility wise, Anawa would, if you got that many cars a day, you might as well take that property over
You
this
don't have
front.
enough roadway and
And then we'd have the
Yeah.
turnaround issue.
you don't have enough roadway.
Yeah.
I just wanted to interject too. I mean, the reason I asked about trucking is because obviously we have trucks. But this isn't like, lines of trucks. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's a hardware store. It's gonna, a lumber truck a week or something.
Right.
and
Yeah,
so on and so
right.
forth.
It's
So-
not.
Yep. And that's probably one of the bigger trucks you'll get. The other ones might probably be the smaller box trucks for
Most
deliveries.
of
Yep.
It's gonna be, you're not gonna have constant heavy truck
Yeah.
traffic going, you're not really gonna run the corridors.
Tiffany, for his
I just
sake,
wanted to make sure, we're not getting lost on that too far. 'cause it's-
I guess I want to know the procedure that we're going to follow now. Does he come back to our committee?
So he
with
can
some
come back
drawings,
here.
Or can he go to CDA right away? What do you want to do?
So I think that's kind of part of the discussion here where we're not going to go through his plan and say this is the siding, this is the roof pitch and all that. We do need to look at the zoning because that's our job's to change the zoning, right? And to ensure the businesses go in the right locations. So we're more of the big picture. So if we want to bring him back here, once he has this a little bit more detailed plan, great. And then that we can narrow
I think that would
down
help
and
us
then
if
send him to
we're gonna go
CDA.
change the zoning. We need to know a little bit more about what the project's going to be like.
Yeah, yeah. And then we can send him to CDA and he will already have it pretty much laid out for CDA to
The
move
reason I'm
forward
asking
with.
this is because prior to today, the projects went right to CDA because they are in charge of selling the land.
Okay,
That's their role.
gotcha.
And this subcommittee was set up to look at a broader perspective of what's going to happen within the Rome Town Center. So you're the first one that's going through this process, so we're going to learn as you go.
Well, we'll learn together, I guess.
You
right?
are our guinea pig. So it-
General concept.
But I think you've heard
Take a couple of them to see how things lay out.
I think you've heard that we're willing to help you get to where you need to go, because we'd
appreciate
like to
that.
see a hardware store in town.
Right,
So
and we
it's a
need,
positive feeling
and
I'm having.
we need to help because this is a very, very important issue.
Right. Oh,
If you were coming in with a hardware store that'd be totally enclosed within a single building with a parking lot in the side or the front, one thing. But you're talking about a yard. And a yard, I've never seen a yard that looks good. Because they start off looking good, and they end up looking like,
I agree.
looking like yards. And the appearance of that yard, I mean, the future of any development is in the eyes of the person that sees what's there now. Whatever is done has to be done right so that we don't impact the saleability of an adjacent parcel or the whole environment, you see.
Flower garden back there. It is what it is. It's-
Yeah, it is, it is what it is.
As good as I can, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be hardware, right?
And yes, we can put up 6-foot fences, and everything else. You would want everything paved, but of course, the first thing a developer says is pavement costs money. But we need to know if it would be paved or not. But let me just say, folks, this is a very important decision. Hardware store, absolutely. Hardware store with yard, be careful where we put it.
Can I ask a question about that too? Are there fire hydrants over there?
Yes,
Yeah.
Where?
they're all over the town roads.
Yeah.
So there's.
We have city water throughout the whole park.
I'm saying. Oh, see, I thought west of 13. There's no fire hydrants.
Besides Rome Town Center.
Yep.
Yeah,
Rome
we're on,
Town
Because
Center, we have
if you're
full-
putting a lumber yard in over there,
We've got,
that thing goes up. We got a problem.
we've got fire hydrants up here on this new road.
Okay, well, I'm looking, if he's gonna build here, you can't expect a tanker truck to come in, and put out a lumber fire.
let me just piggyback on what Bill said. I would agree, Bill, that I think that this, since we are in charge of ordinance, I think we should sort of try to steer the CDA on where we feel this would best fit in the future plans. We don't have any control over the property sale or anything, but if we at least work with him one more meeting and then probably try to narrow it down. It feels like we're all leaning towards Alpine. Let's not beat around the bush. And then the CDA can go from there. But if the CDA doesn't like our idea, they can, I guess, override us. But we'd hate for them to override us and stick it in the center of the park too.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I do agree that if this is a new system, they should probably come before us first before they go to the CDA from now on. Let us have this conversation, try to figure out the best location for this business in the business park, and then let CDA take over from there and Plan Commission take over with architecture.
No problem with it.
Okay, then we're all on the same page.
I do have a question. Is the intent to, as these projects come forward, to just continue to rezone as you go? Or are you looking to rezone blocks of acreage?
No, I think the
To one
intent is
specific
to rezone overall, have it one and done. We would not be doing a single one-off. This really just helps knowing in that future planning. Just for the sake of being able to continue moving forward here. So just to recap for you, thank you for coming today. The intent was so that you could get feedback so you know how to bring your plan more detailed and move it forward, come before us again. Couple of things to keep in mind with that location. So, you know, not sounding like Timberline would really be where we would necessarily want to have that, given kind of the future vision, but maybe Alpine and visibility wise would be the better place. So keeping that in mind. I think in keeping in mind with the 4 acres, you had mentioned future expansion. Part of our job as well is to make sure that we're not giving away land that doesn't have a purpose for it because we only have so much to give. So I would caution that and make sure that your plan is detailed, you know, because it is likely that we would say, hey, we love this, but maybe only 2 acres worth, or, you know, like these other 2 acres back here, there really isn't a plan for that. And it might fill 3 or 4 acres, but I'm just saying, just to caution when you bring that detailed plan to make sure that you have a good detail layout for those 4 acres.
2.5 inch by 2.5.
What else do we discuss? The lumber yard, making sure that that's enclosed, and I think all other those forward-going details are going to be things that Plan Commission, those types of things, will work out with you as well. But you got some really good feedback to help develop your plan, and then we can have you come again. So just reaching out to Emily, letting her know when you have that plan solidified with some of those details we've discussed today, then you can come back in and then we can get you over to CDA, Plan Commission, and so forth.
And needless to say, you need a flat spot.
It's going to be helpful, yeah.
No, I'm just,
Well, most of the land is flat except for one piece.
some humps up in here. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, originally I was thinking 70 by 120, just to give you an idea of the actual building. At the end of scale that, probably, I might scale it back a little bit, just because cost. But I probably might go 50, because then I can just keep going. So there's a couple different things I can work with, right? So I can probably come up with maybe 2 different ideas. And
Yeah.
I think the outdoor lumber area, it wouldn't be like a closed building, but I think it would be covered.
Lean-to.
So, well, it might even just be like a drive-through
Okay.
barn, open door barn, so that's another, that kind of cleans up the ugliness a little bit too. You know, having it more
That does.
contained rather than.
Kind of like how Menards has
Yeah,
theirs.
that's what I was thinking. You drive through one end, you drive out the other. They have 2x4s on one side, 2x8s on the other.
Yep.
And I don't have to heat it or nothing, that building would be kind of you know.
Right, it's not going to be attached to the main structure.
But I think you're right. Leave it up to the
That's-
Planning Commission and the CDA to look at his plans. Because what you were saying in reference to that lumberyard, I'm still kind of questioning about that, but that's not our job here.
No, but
It's
the drive-through
not,
barn would
we
be the
are
ideal
looking at
solution.
changing zoning, and
Yeah,
especially with the lumber, the lumberyard, we need to ensure it fits in our zoning and where it'd be appropriate for that to be
Right,
located.
and that's,
So it doesn't.
that will go to CDA and to the planning.
Yep. So it's gonna have
So we're just
a
looking
lot
to
of
say, hey,
overview.
does this fit our future plan?
Yeah.
And we all said yes.
But we're also looking at outdoor storage and our zoning ideas because
We
as
need him
of
to come back
now,
and show us what he wants.
I don't believe any of the subsections in the town center allow for outdoor storage.
No.
I don't think so.
And I don't believe they allow for fences.
We allow for screening.
Screening, but
screen-
not
we have fence-
fences.
No, screening is what we allow.
Screening by shrubs.
Screening
Well,
by,
and
no,
fenced-in
also
dumpsters.
for
We do-
dumpsters, garbage.
Okay, just for dumpsters though, but you can't screen in your parking lot with a fence.
No, but
He's
like
asking.
screening for a lumber yard, I think would still fall
be-
under screening because
Yeah.
there's like a
Yeah,
my
that's
brain
different
is
than a.
seeing the code and
Yeah.
it's like screening. Then it's the
If it was behind the building, it really wouldn't
it's my job.
need that much if it's still surrounded by.
No, it depends how he wants to set it up.
Yeah.
That's why we need more information.
What are your thoughts on timetable, sir?
I wanted to have it done by next week, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen.
Well, we meet again in a month, so.
I was hoping spring, but I just don't think that's gonna be possible. It just ain't gonna happen. I'm, you know, with the builders in the area are busy, so, you know, I think Patrick Wertz is probably gonna build it, but I gotta get MSH to pour it. You know, there's a lot of, just in that alone, trying to get them scheduled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to get this all wrapped up, I would hope at the very latest next spring. It would be
Then, you know what, get it on the
you.
agenda for the CDA
as well.
and the planning commission. So the planning commission meets next week.
year, I'm guessing.
So we're
You've
going
got
to
months of
be
legwork before
like
you
we
get.
can put them on our agenda for next month, and then we'll at the next CDA meeting tomorrow. We'll say, hey, we have this potential.
Right, so let's help them along with that
Yeah.
and then say, hey, you know, this way, you know, A, B, C, let's get everything done.
Yeah. Do you think you can have a more detailed plan put together within a month's time?
Well,
Okay.
I have them, but they're just,
Yep.
these are a little too big, so,
Yeah.
for starting, I wanted to be expandable, but.
Well, you received, you wanted agreement that, yes, we need a hardware store. We'd like to work with you.
Great, super. Awesome. I'll get something drawn up,
Okay, thank you.
and then you want me to try to throw parking in there and then,
Everything, yeah.
as much as I can get?
Yep.
without actually having a-
Well, you really need to meet with Emily, the zoning
like
administrator.
February 4th, so we
and she
can
can
give her
tell
some
you
type of a date.
setbacks
That's the first
and
week of
things
the
like
month.
that.
I'll just draw what I want,
So
and
you
then
get some
we'll
type of-
plop it on something, and we
There
can,
you go.
know what
It's
I'm
a good
saying?
idea.
So that
Yep.
gives me at least, we'll get that settled. What I want
Absolutely.
to build, and then where does that fit?
Put 4 acres down on a sheet of paper in different configurations. Then do a cutout, a scale cutout of your proposed building and start to move it around the site along with parking.
Done that.
And put it together to make it work.
Okay.
And then,
It works out well if you to scale. I did it with the Weiss building and all of our interior display cabinets and everything in the parking lot.
So you're not, I mean, we could go like square in theory, could it do a square one, a rectangle one, and maybe one that's a little longer or whatever. Something,
Yeah.
I'll come up with a couple.
Yep, different options.
Just
Okay.
I'll make it 4 acres at some sort of a box or a rectangle.
And maybe when you're doing it, you realize 4 is too many. I only need
could be.
3.
right.
This
Because
was the building that I was looking at was considerably bigger, and it was recommending 4 for like allowing for a little bit of expansion. So I may be able to cut back to 3. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, awesome.
Well-
All right, so that sounds great. We can put you on the next agenda, which we will solidify in a couple more agenda items, but it should be February 4th, which is the first Wednesday of the month.
So we're gonna, next one, February 4th?
We'll decide
we'll
that at the end of the
solidify it.
meeting.
just giving them an idea what
Yep.
to shoot for.
Oh, okay, yeah, so you got an idea what we're doing here. You come back with your homework, We'll get you hooked up with the meeting at the CDA and then the Planning Commission, and then all your preliminary work will be out of the way, and you can start, they're going to look at your plans, and they're going to tell you, well, okay, if you want to make a lumber yard over here, this is what you got to do.
No, we're going to make that decision.
No,
A recommendation.
we make the decision
Let's
that
let him go,
Yes. So we can
and
move
then we can
We need to
continue a
discuss.
conversation.
Thank you.
So
Sounds good.
February 4th. That's
February
what we're
4th.
looking at, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Times and planes.
Unless it
4 p.m.
changes, somebody will notify you.
Yep.
That's
We'll
the
let
next
you know.
meeting, February 4th. At what time? 4 p.m.?
Yeah.
We'll
If we agree
to
at
that
the end of the
down.
meeting.
But that's what it's looking like. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Madam Chairman, can I ask a question? How many people get kicks at the can on this? I mean, where do we stand in the pecking order of decision?
So we kind of touched on this just a little bit a few minutes ago. It's kind of a new process that we're starting with Subject A. In terms, this gentleman came in and said, hey, I approached Emily, hey, this is an idea I want. And so it was all right, come before RTC, let's get some ideas and some direction for you so you can come, instead of coming with a plan that he just created on his own, it's come before us, get some ideas of what we want to see in this area and how we want your layout to be, our feedback, develop your plan, come back to us. We can make the recommendation to CDA then. From CDA, then it would go to Plan Commission and Board.
Are we making a recommendation on the plot layout or on the location in the park?
All of the above.
Yeah, we're more so just handing it over, like, they're coming to us for overall very big picture vision, right? So typically, when we have everything set, like, we're going through a transition period. So we don't know exactly where we want businesses to go. We don't know exactly where we want in each sub-district. Like, previously, I would do all of this with him without a committee, and then they'd go to CDA.
And then CDA would
then-
cut it back to RTC, and then RTC would cut it back to CDA. So
Yeah, so we're,
trying to.
What a clumsy
It's-
operation.
it's going to be an overall vision. He'll go to CDA for the land purchase and a more put together vision since they went through us, and then Plan Commission's going to really nitpick everything detail wise.
Okay, so in essence, we're location, CDC is okays the sale without any input as to color, shape, and this sort of thing, hopefully. Plan Commission then takes a look at site, design, whatever is necessary, then finally to the board. Okay?
Plan Commission would also put any contingencies on, like the
Right.
paving contingency.
Like the height of the
landscape contingency.
Right, landscaping, the height of the sign.
Yeah, but
We're just doing the idea
I was
and
gonna
trying
keep
to
my
find
mouth
out.
shut, but I can't.
We're just trying to re-envision the back half of the business park. Okay, the front half is pretty much, front third, I should say, is pretty much done except for a few properties. This was all commercial A, B, C before. We're trying to re-envision this with senior housing, the hardware store. So we're moving some things around. Right now, senior housing's right up here. And we all agree that on Alpine isn't the best place for senior housing. So, and I think that's where we're going with the next agenda item. I'm not trying to get ahead on you or anything, is talking about moving senior housing somewhere over on Timberline, where this gentleman wanted property on Timberline, but we don't think Timberline's the best place for a hardware store. So we're trying to direct the CDA where to go with this, and then they will take care of the sale.
Yeah. So
Now, if he came in with a strip club, we probably would have said we don't want it, and the conversation would have been shut down right then and there.
I wouldn't have even brought them here, just for the record.
Okay.
Well, zoning doesn't allow it.
Yeah, all those guys that keep asking me at Sand Valley.
I thought we vote on this stuff here.
So, without us re-envisioning the back 2/3 of this place, this committee would not be here. This would just be going right to the CDA.
Yes.
Right.
So this is sort of a new committee now, just to re-envision, because it would have been nice if we had hardware store guy and another brewery and another clothing, but we
Yeah.
don't have the businesses pounding on the doors.
but-
So we need to do something with this to help the businesses that are in here.
Right.
Right. That being said, the vision that I think the original subcommittee had was that both sides of Timberline going to the towards 13th Avenue are going to be storefront type things.
Yes.
With maybe possibly living space above. I know there's questions about whether we need living space, but I'm looking at defraying the cost of the storefront for the owner. By having living space above, he can defray some of those
Theoretically, he
costs.
would have a storefront, and he would
And
fit on Timberline.
that goes back to the original vision that we had when we first redesigned the Rome Town and called it the Rome Town Center. So that's a long way back. But the lumber yard and that stuff doesn't fit on Timberline, given that vision.
Yes.
Something smaller, somebody want to bring an ice cream parlor in or a spa or something like that, that fits. Not a big hardware store.
And I agree.
And I think moving it to Alpine is the perfect solution.
And I think we're pretty much all in agreement. That's a piece of property I'd want if I was putting in a hardware store, to be honest. The traffic on there versus the traffic you get on Timberlines is just no comparison.
Well, he can directly supply some more storage units.
True.
Yeah, we need more storage units here.
No, he's supplying the storage
Just supplying them.
units.
All right. Moving forward to number 7, discussion and I can't talk today either. Discussion and possible action. Review the current master plan and discuss objectives and next steps for the committee. So obviously we know kind of the big looming objective is taking a look at the zoning, and just looking at things like lumber store, outdoor storage, screening fences, things like that we need to keep in mind with our zoning, things like senior living, things that have been discussed last year with RTC and the master planner that we had worked with was, and really I think the state is kind of pushing towards this. So the thought is do it now the way we want it versus somebody else coming in telling us how we have to do it. But instead of having maybe 4 different zones, your zoned areas, you're creating something that's a little bit more 1 or 2 zones with controlled uses. But here nor there, that's zoning is definitely one item that we have as a big looming objective to get to. We met with the town board and had our previous meeting with them. Kind of got their feedback during our last meeting in November. So just kind of taking a look at that and seeing what we want our next direct steps to be so that we have a clear plan forward for our meetings.
Let me ask you something over here. Are you aggressively promoting the RTC? Because I like what you did here today. And I think if you aggressively go out to like an expo show, where I'm going, like
I'm not advertising.
but
Rome
I'm
Town
saying,
Center.
can we? But I'm just thinking, this would be fantastic. You get these different businesses coming here, like what this guy just did, and say, hey, I want to build this here. Now, this is taking this whole thing that we, for years, that you've been, in the past administration, now we're starting to see. You're planting to see, now we're starting to see it grow. So if we aggressively get out there and we start putting out at I don't know if they have expo for building, contracts. I don't know. I know they have it on boats, RV, and all that. But if they have something of that effect, why can't we do that? Get them to come here and say, okay, we got all this area here. Can I build this here? Would you accept this?
I'll take his question for you, because anybody that sees this and then they go back to their office and do a census analysis, household income, population, all of that, they will come back with the conclusion, do not build in Rome. Look at the people that have built in Rome, or people that know. Me, this guy came up with that hardware idea. We have, Slice of Heaven, who lives up in the Rapids. These are all they're not national chains coming into Rome. Anybody that does a census and traffic count and everything, because I went through it trying to get financing for a golf course in Rome, and every bank told me I was crazy. Looking at the population and everything, it doesn't fit the criteria for any hotel or anybody to come. So to send her to shows, I'm covering you, I don't think will help at all sell property. What's going to sell property are people that have visited this town, think it's worth their investment, and most of these are family-owned businesses in this town. I mean, yes, we do have Quick Trip, but let's face it, they wanted every gas station down 13 all the way through the Dells. They were taking it up. I mean, that's what they accomplished. So I don't think that sending her out to any trade shows would help in any means, because there's nothing on paper that would tell somebody to come to the town of Rome unless you know this town and see what happens here in the summer.
Yeah, and
That's my
that's
2
what
cents.
our business owners are. They're people that come here, fall in love, and say, I want to open a business here. And while I don't go to trade shows, when developers or potential, well, a lot of them are contractors, they'll come here and be like, I think about opening a business. And I'm like, what do you want to open? Let's go to Rome Town Center. I do that.
And
But-
part of the process too, in that we had discussed over this last year, once we get our master plan set, and address the zoning, get that corrected, now we're set, we can start working on RFPs and pushing those out.
That's what you're really getting at.
Yeah.
You know, is
And-
sending out RFPs to developers to come in and do specific project.
Right.
That's what
I mean,
gets them here.
to me, this was a big plus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like, wow, we did something here. I mean, how long you been on this committee, and now we got something happening,
Yeah.
and this is why I thought it would be an idea, the trade shows, or doing something, what you were talking about, when they start seeing that they have potential. I'm not saying put a McDonald's or a Culver's over here, and you're right. You want to look at something that's going to fit into the community. That's where we stand. That's where the CDA and the Planning Commission say, oh, we want to see this.
Well, and when we think about it, we do want, if I go to a trade show in Milwaukee, we don't want some random person from Milwaukee to come open a business here. We want people who know and love Rome to open a business here. We don't want somebody who has 5 other stores and be like, oh, well, yeah, we could maybe do one in Rome. Ideally, we want the people who love it here already.
Why
Well
not
put.
some
Madam
random
Chairman.
person with lots of money?
Okay, I mean, there's different ways of looking at it.
It's like an absentee landlord.
I like,
That's what it is.
We got plenty of those
You
here.
don't need an absentee landlord in this town. We got enough.
Well, in the absence of an absentee landlord, we have nothing but vacant land. We need to do stuff.
When you look at it, I mean, my involvement predates Papa Bear. So almost everything that's been built on there has been while I've been here. And that's not that long. It's coming. This is a long-term plan. Again, the vision is 25 years out. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. 25 years. And it's going to be a slow process. You're not going to go out there and crash build this place. If you do, you're going to have a mess. I guarantee you're going to have a mess if you try to do that.
and that's what we're trying to get ahead of.
And that's
We
what
want
I'm
to make
trying
sure
to
we
say,
get
is
the
that
zoning in place.
It's a slow process. Don't get too over anxious. And take today's as a gift, because that's what I see it as. This guy coming through and wanting to do a hardware store for this town is a gift.
Yep, and it's just
Okay,
the first
Madam
of many
Chairman?
gifts, hopefully.
I'd like to ask a question or two.
Yeah.
Our role is to promote the approval and put together the mechanism to make this thing work.
Correct.
Currently, the town is, I hear zoning today. We currently have 4 overlay districts in the town. I then go to the plan, and implementation step number 2 is create a form-based code for the RTC, which in essence says dump the 4 zoning districts. It in essence says dump the zoning and create what is tantamount to show me what you want and we'll take a look at it.
A development district.
A development district.
Yep.
And so forget the words zoning overall, development district. And form-based is, you look at the illustrations here, it's setbacks, height, appearance, finished construction on 2 sides, finished construction on 4 sides. And we need to develop and promote the form-based code. I'm not familiar with that term, although I dealt with it for 30 years. And proceed from there. Because we have a simple task, is to take this map and say that area is going to be residential, and this area is going to be mixed residential, mixed use, and this is going to be retail use. Simple as that. And then develop your form-based code based on those particular areas. And then as they come in, you then apply these standards. But it drives me nuts when I think about RTC, CDC, CT.
We got it.
You know, it really, there's too many people getting kicks at the can here. They should be able to come in. There's our point person right there. And she should have it all down there and say, you know, Mr. Grenier, number one, you don't fit currently because of the open yard that he talked about. How can we help you make it fit? Okay, put a drive-through barn or something like that. But she needs to have the tools, Emily, needs to have the tools to intelligently be able to converse and give him feedback so that he doesn't come and sit before this group and listen to this melee tonight. I'm sorry I'm lecturing, but...
No, but and I think that's where we're at. I mean, Emily did have the book before, but with taking a new approach to this, I mean, it was all spelled out. I worked with Greg beforehand. It said your roof had to be this material, you had to be this pitch, you had to have this so much metal. It was spelled out for eeach sub-district to the T.
That's form-based.
Right. Now what we're into is we want to get rid of all, I don't want to say all the districts, we want to make some revamping, and that's why you keep hearing the word zoning. There was a book that you could flip through and find yes or no to every building that came in. But now with trying to bring in the 25-year plan, the new thinking about this with some housing and stuff, she's not in a spot now to go to a book and make a decision. So this is why we're here to give her a new book, I guess, that she can then open up and do that. Now, talking about zoning, I mean, all honesty, I see commercial A, mixed town center. I think in our conversations right now, we should just leave commercial A alone. There's only 3 properties left for sale. Everything else is already built on. I honestly think commercial A should just be left alone right now.
In your plan, you just say, form-based, this is where we want commercial.
But commercial A's always
Don't
been
say
more.
A.
Commercial A's always been more stringent.
Too deep into that, what this is for today is setting those discussions so that we don't spend 3 hours meeting today talking about that. Right now, we're going to set that, okay, this next meeting is going to be about zoning. The meeting after that is going to be about this objective. So we want to set what those objectives are and I think where zoning, we need to get that done, but I think the first step is we need to look at the proposed master plan and say, this is what we need to change about it, this is what doesn't, and so that we can solidify that, because that is the start to how we move forward into the zoning. So, that's our step 1, and then maybe our step 2 is now we're looking at the zoning, and we can spend, peg a 2-3 hour meeting on the zoning discussion, because we know that's going to be a long one. And then after that, and those are just, large overview objectives. so solidify master plan, zoning, and then after that, it's RFPs, development. So today's meeting is to set those objectives and those next steps, so then we can come back and have those discussions.
So I don't think we need to solidify a master plan, because that in itself is a year-long process. I think if we use the master plan that is out there, which obviously has not been approved and is in place.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I
wanted to
look at
clarify
it
a little bit. Yeah.
to see what is it on there that we need to change, and that was the point of the meeting with the town board, our joint meeting in November. Get some feedback, so now we can take a look at what we have for that proposed master plan. Are there changes to it? What would those look like? Get those set so we can have that concrete master plan, because then that needs to go into approval.
Yep.
And then we can go into the zoning.
So can we say for next meeting, an objective or an agenda item would be to review, now my verbiage is zoning, so review zoning districts, say, and I agree, Com A or Commercial A is pretty set and standard. We can still review the actual ordinances under that, but really this back 2/3, I think having that's gonna be a whole meeting in itself, looking at this back 2/3 and saying the zoning district, or however you guys wanna phrase it, along Timberline, and then where senior development or like that mixed, maybe the mixed town center would be the commercial / residential, where we'd have living above. So like just having that conversation and just diving deep straight into that.
Yes, I agree that that needs to be done, but I think, my take on it is that we need to get the changes to the master plan, because that's kind of the first step into this. So that's why I'm wondering if that needs to be the first step, and then zoning is the next.
Zoning is nothing more than an implementation tool.
Right,
To implement the master plan up here.
right. That's my,
And you have to have A before you get B.
right.
I agree, but if we have businesses coming in, so we have this hardware store hopefully coming in, we need to have that zoning in place before we can go through anything else.
I agree, but we
Same with
can't
the
set it
senior.
until we have a master plan set. That's
Can't
been the
go-
holdup.
It can go hand in hand.
It can, but we don't have 10 hours for a meeting. So that's
Yeah.
why, just to kind of expedite that process, and that's if we have our homework of, all right, everybody start looking at the master plan, put your ideas together, come with those for next meeting. We can meet with Mr. Grenier again, and then the next agenda item would be review that master plan and the things that we have come with that we see need to be changed, so we can set that.
Current master plan that you're thinking, this is the one we're making changes to. This is what is out there
The
now.
current proposed master plan, correct.
Thank
That
you.
is
Where does that
posted.
plan exist?
The 25-year vision,
Yep.
I think, is what we're talking about, correct?
Yes.
What we're offering now is they have houses here.
Yeah,
We're talking.
yeah, I've read everything you've got a couple of times.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, Emily, but I think, we got to make sure we're putting the horse before the cart.
Yeah.
And we know we need to expedite this. So that's why I think if we can come with our homework with the master plan, because that's going to take another meeting with the board to get that approved. So if we can set that for this next meeting, get those changes implemented, then while those changes are getting implemented, we can now we know what our master plan vision is, and we can start working on zoning.
Are we comfortable I want to be fair to potential developers. If they come in, are we okay with them just going through the process with current zoning then? So like if he goes to CDA for a land purchase, everything will be approved for the current zoning.
Well, yes, we also know that takes some time too. So, before we'd be able to get to the next steps. So I loosely say yes, but that's also, I'm like, all right, let's set these,
Yeah.
So we're the second meeting from now would be zoning. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
I would say if we continue just like we did today, where we have them come in, talk to us, move them forward, we can continue working on this
Okay.
area, and we're keeping what we have moving forward in mind with those decisions.
And I get it, because right now, where we're talking here doesn't meet the zoning with a hardware store. So
Yeah.
that puts you over a catch-22. My other question, this future road, this is still in the back, that's still supposed to go in, right? So when we're talking about zoning and redividing things up, we're still working off of the non-existent road that we are expecting to go in and intersect out to Alpine.
Where they-
In the end.
13th is there.
This road is not, though.
No, the pretend road in here.
Penn Road, this one is not in yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are correct. Yes.
So when we're talking about doing our homework,
Yep.
we're supposed to assume that in the end, not that it's gonna go in this year, next year, and 5 years, but when we're talking, we're gonna assume that this road is going to be put in somewhere along the line with how we're dividing things up. That's all I wanted to know.
I'm going to ask Bill a question, or anybody that worked on the development of the RTC plan. You've got a gridiron structure of roads, and they look to me like they look like this for public sewer. Is that right?
That's what?
Public sewer, no, it's not right.
No,
So each of those lots I see laid out in something like that, was that individual sewers or perhaps?
Not necessarily.
Okay,
Not
so we're
necessarily.
talking about
Could be a
sewer,
small boats.
okay, sewer systems, septics. Okay.
Septic.
Septic.
Private health septic systems in the town center.
Yep.
We're primarily, we've sort of discarded the idea of any kind of a town-run sewage flow system, sanitary system. And right now, it's based purely on flow. You wouldn't have enough, whatever you put in the pipes would go as aseptic and kill the plant as soon as it got there, so.
That and cost.
Well, that's,
Are you
That's the
talking
big
billions
one.
here?
That's the big one.
we don't even have enough flow to make it logistically feasible.
Okay.
At the lift pump, every place is so flat.
So I guess, just looking for feedback before we move forward, is that a plan of action that everybody is comfortable with? Looking at the master plan, and then for the next meeting after that, we start diving into the zoning?
My answer is yes to your question.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I think that brings us into dates and items for future agenda/meetings. So next agenda items, obviously, we know we'll have Mr. Grenier in here again, and then we'll be looking at the master plan. So the proposed master plan, 25-year vision. So, let's kind of do our homework, take a look at that before we get in here so we have our ideas. And then we can kind of put those into discussion and into motion in our next meeting. Anything else that, do you have anybody new that came in that we need to, not yet? Okay.
at this
I always
time.
check before I do the next one anyway, so, okay. Next meeting date and time, typically if we follow the current first Wednesday of every month at 4 p.m. we had moved to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do we need to move to 4, or can we go back to 3?
Well, we were at
Gonna ask
4.
that.
We were at 4. I asked for a 3 o'clock this one, but there was some whatever happened.
there was a screw-up,
So,
but
I don't care if we go
I'm
to 3 or
suggesting
4.
we go with the 3 o'clock one if everybody can, everybody can work it out.
Emily
I
would like that,
remember-
wouldn't you?
Yes, I
I
would.
I think it was a room availability issue for a while that we had moved to the 4 p.m.
Do you want to notify us? I'm good at 3 or 4. Does somebody want to check on the
Well,
room?
I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of Emily's time.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good at
there
3.
was, I think that had come from Wendy. There was a timing issue as to why it was requested that we move to 4, but
I
if
think it
it's-
was amongst the committee for one of the meetings, but we're good to move it back to 3.
Right. If anybody,
Is
is
that-
that a problem for anybody?
I think 4 is better, because if I'm out doing something or taking care of some other business, that's, then I gotta hurry up and be done by 3, and, 4 o'clock really sounds the best for,
The speed limit is 55.
yeah, well, I used to live in Chicago
Yeah.
too.
I
City
think
Melrose Park. You're
we'll
going 20
probably
hours
take
too
a vote
fast.
on the timing. So, anybody for,
$20 too fast.
Your officer.
Have lunch on me.
Accessible for the public, and oftentimes people are still working at 3 o'clock, so there's, I don't care what time you have the meeting, doesn't
yes.
matter to me.
Well, that's also why we
No matter
record
what
them and
time,
put them on
but
the site too.
I don't.
The CDA is also before 4 p.m. So, but that's why they're recorded and people can jump in there. Most people don't come to the meetings. If they're going to jump on, they jump on from the recordings. Okay, so let's throw a vote. All for 3 p.m. Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, wait. Put your hand up, please.
It don't matter to me.
4.
Okay, it's 3 p.m.
I'll put my hand up.
All for 4 p.m. Put your hand up.
1.
Okay.
It don't matter to me.
You're on the fence.
It's a 4 to 1, so I think
3
o'clock it is.
Okay.
So 3 p.m. on the 4th, and we will keep in mind that moving
time with
forward,
Eddie
we will do 3 p.m.s.
January
February 4th.
Yours
Oh,
is what, 6
February.
months?
February 4th. Get it right, man. What's wrong with you?
3 p.m.
Just wait till you stick 10 candles on that cake. You're like, man, where
Okay.
did my last decade go? It comes quick.
I think we are all good to move forward. Is everybody in agreement? Say aye.
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 Anybody against? Say nay.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Second it.
Debatable.
He seconded it. She needs a vote.
I'm out of here.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Tom, you gotta hurry up and get your thing packed up, buddy.
Take the kids out to eat with their friends.
Well, where you gonna go and eat, pal?
Elmez.
Where?
Elmez.
Wait, is that the one over there by Walmart?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that place. I wasn't hit by it. But then again, I've eaten so much Mexican in my life.
And we're the
I tell you, you know it's a good Mexican restaurant when you see the cockroaches on the floor.
High five.
La cucaracha.
If you're, the shed would be included in that, and you would